Have you ever stood in your kitchen around noon, opened the fridge, and just stared? Nothing sounds good. You're not exactly hungry, but you know you should eat something. Maybe you grab a piece of toast, maybe just a cup of coffee, and call that lunch. Sound familiar? Or maybe it's not you, it's someone you care about. A parent, a spouse, an older friend. They used to enjoy meals, used to look forward to lunchtime. But now, they just kind of pick at their food, skip meals, or settle for the same thing every day. And maybe you've brushed it off before, thinking, well, that's just aging, right? But here's the truth. What we eat after 60 matters more than ever. Lunch isn't just about filling your belly anymore. It's about fueling your brain, supporting your energy, protecting your muscles, even keeping your heart beating strong. Because when you're in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, a good lunch can literally be the difference between feeling alive and active, or feeling slow, tired, and disconnected. But here's the good news. Lunch doesn't have to be complicated, or bland, or boring. In fact, I'm going to show you how it can be quick, easy, delicious, and still packed with the kind of nutrients that truly support your body and mind. So in today's video, I'm sharing 5 simple and healthy lunch ideas for seniors over 60. Meals you can make in minutes, love to eat, and feel good about. Some of these ideas you may have never tried before. And one of them? You might already have the ingredients for it sitting in your kitchen right now. But here's the catch. Each one is designed specifically with aging adults in mind. These are meals that support your joints, your digestion, your memory, your mood, even your independence. So whether you're here for yourself or someone you love, stick around, because lunch is about to get a whole lot better. And before we dive in, do me a quick favor. If you're ready to make mealtime easier and healthier, go ahead and comment lunchtime down below. Let me know you're with me. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Healthy Senior Advice, where we're all about helping you and your loved ones live stronger, longer, and with more joy. Alright, let's start with something light, refreshing, and absolutely packed with nutrients. The Mediterranean chickpea salad wrap. Now I want you to picture this. You're standing in your kitchen, it's almost noon, and you're feeling a little hungry, but you don't want anything heavy. You don't want to spend an hour prepping or standing over a stove either. What you do want is something fresh, something flavorful, something that makes you feel like you're doing something good for your body without sacrificing taste. This is where the chickpea salad wrap comes in. My neighbor Joan, she's 72 and one of the most vibrant people I know. Always moving, always smiling. A while back, her doctor told her to watch her salt intake. Her blood pressure had started creeping up, and she was feeling a little sluggish after lunch. So she switched things up. Instead of her usual sandwich, she started making this wrap a few times a week. And she swears it made a huge difference, not just in her numbers, but in how she felt. Now, why chickpeas? Well, chickpeas are little powerhouses. They're loaded with fiber, which helps keep things moving, if you know what I mean. They're also full of plant-based protein, which is fantastic for muscle health, especially as we age and naturally start to lose muscle mass. Plus, they help regulate blood sugar levels. So if you're managing diabetes or prediabetes, or just trying to avoid those post-lunch crashes, chickpeas are a smart choice. Here's something I hear a lot though. People think wraps are unhealthy. They picture the greasy fast food kind, dripping with sauces and cheese. But let me tell you, it's not the wrap itself, it's what you put inside it. So let's keep it clean and simple. Just take a can of chickpeas, drain and rinse them, then mash them gently with a fork. Add diced cucumber, cherry tomatoes, a little red onion if you like, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, a squeeze of fresh lemon juice, and a pinch of black pepper or dried oregano. Scoop it into a whole grain tortilla or even a lettuce leaf if you prefer low carb, and that's it. Roll it up and enjoy. It's crunchy, creamy, refreshing, and satisfying without feeling heavy. Plus, it comes together in about 10 minutes with no cooking at all. And if legumes just aren't your thing, or you're craving something warm and cozy instead, don't worry. This next idea is perfect for those days when you want a little comfort in a bowl. Let's talk about creamy sweet potato and lentil soup. Now, this one takes me back. My dad, he was never a fancy eater, but he loved soup. Said it warmed him from the inside out. And I get that now more than ever. There's just something about a steaming bowl of homemade soup that feels safe. Like a warm hug on a quiet afternoon. This sweet potato and lentil soup was one of his favorites. He'd have a bowl and feel full for hours. And even in his 80s, he said it gave him the kind of energy that coffee just couldn't. Here's why it works so well, especially for seniors. Sweet potatoes are rich in vitamin A, which is great for eye health, something that becomes more important as we age. They also contain soluble fiber, which helps with digestion and keeps your blood sugar steady. And lentils? Another unsung hero. They're high in protein, iron, and those slow-burning carbs that give you energy without the crash. So you stay alert, focused, and fueled, without feeling sluggish. But here's the problem. Many people grab a can of soup thinking it's a quick fix. What they don't realize is that most store-bought soups are packed with sodium and preservatives that our aging bodies just don't need. Making your own is surprisingly easy. All you need is a pot, some chopped sweet potatoes, red lentils, an onion, and a little turmeric. You can even toss in a garlic clove if you like. Simmer it all with water or low-sodium broth until everything's soft, then blend it into a smooth, creamy soup. It's comforting, it's healing, and it's full of nourishment your body will thank you for. And hey, if you're thinking, that sounds great, but I don't always have the time or energy to cook from scratch, I've got you covered. Because the next lunch idea? It's nearly ready before you even start. Now, if you're thinking, that soup sounds great, but sometimes I want something quick, something I don't have to cook from scratch, you're going to love this next one. Let me introduce you to Dan. He's 68, a retired high school teacher, and one of the most down-to-earth guys I know. For years, Dan had a habit of swinging by the drive-thru around lunchtime. Burgers, fries, the usual. He'd tell me, it's just easier than cooking when it's just me. But after a few concerning checkups, he knew something had to change. That's when he found his go-to, the rotisserie chicken and avocado plate. It's incredibly simple, satisfying, and surprisingly nutritious. Here's the secret. Dan didn't give up flavor. He just swapped out the fast food for something better. He picks up a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store, already cooked, already seasoned. Then at home, he slices up some fresh avocado, maybe steams a little broccoli on the side or adds a handful of grapes. Takes less than 10 minutes, and boom, lunch is served. But why does this work so well for seniors? Let's break it down. Chicken is one of the best sources of lean protein. And after 60, maintaining muscle isn't just about staying strong, it's about staying independent. Protein helps your muscles repair, supports your immune system, and keeps you feeling full longer. Now let's talk about that avocado. A lot of folks shy away from it because they hear fat and get nervous. But the fats in avocado, they're the good kind, monounsaturated fats that support brain health, heart health, and even help your body absorb key nutrients like vitamins A, D, and E. But here's a common mistake I see all the time: skipping protein at lunch. People will snack or eat light, thinking they're doing themselves a favor, but without protein, you're missing a key part of what your body needs to repair tissue and maintain energy through the afternoon. So here's what you do. Grab a small plate. Add a serving of rotisserie chicken, about the size of your palm. Slice up half an avocado. Toss on a side, maybe some cherry tomatoes, a few steamed green beans, or even a small bowl of fruit. That's it. It's balanced, it's nourishing, and most importantly, it's doable. Now, let's shift gears a bit. Because if you've got a bit of a sweet tooth, or you just like a lunch that feels a little lighter, a little brighter, this next one might just become your new favorite. The cottage cheese and fruit power bowl. This one comes straight from a viewer of ours, Helen, 75. She wrote in to say she started making this for lunch a few times a week after her morning walks. And she noticed something surprising. She felt lighter, more energized, and didn't feel the usual afternoon slump. So what's in it? It's simple. Cottage cheese, a handful of fresh fruits, a sprinkle of seeds, and a dash of cinnamon. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This is a powerhouse of nutrition. Cottage cheese is rich in something called casein protein. It digests slowly, which means it gives you steady energy and keeps you full longer. That's especially important if you're trying to manage your blood sugar or avoid snacking on sugary treats later in the day. And then the fruits. Pineapple, blueberries, strawberries, whatever you love. These add antioxidants, natural sweetness, and a beautiful variety of vitamins. But here's the thing. People often think cottage cheese is bland, or that it's just diet food. And honestly, on its own, it kind of is. But when you pair it with the right fruits, maybe a handful of raspberries, a scoop of chopped pineapple, some chia seeds or walnuts on top, and finish it with a touch of cinnamon, it's suddenly rich, creamy, sweet, and so satisfying. It's the kind of meal that feels like a treat, but your body knows it's doing something good. Now, if cold meals aren't your thing and you're craving something hot, filling, and a little more traditional, this last one might be just what you're looking for. Let me tell you about a dish that became my mom's absolute favorite in her 70s. Quinoa veggie stir-fry with scrambled eggs. She'd say, if it's colorful, it's healthy. And she was right. This lunch is colorful, comforting, and packed with nutrients from top to bottom. And even better, it's fast. Start with quinoa, a whole grain that's actually a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids. That's rare in plant foods. And it's easy to digest, gluten-free, and loaded with minerals like magnesium and iron. Then you add your veggies, whatever you have on hand. Bell peppers, spinach, carrots, peas. Use frozen if you want, it works just as well. Now here's where people go wrong. They overcook their vegetables. When you cook them until they're mushy, you lose a lot of the nutrients. All you need is a quick sauté, just enough to warm them up and keep that color bright and vibrant. Then you scramble 1 to 2 eggs and mix them in. Eggs give you choline, which is important for brain function, memory, and keeping your nervous system strong. Toss it all together, season with a little garlic or soy-free tamari, and lunch is served. It's hearty. It's warm. It's deeply nourishing, and it just feels good to eat. So now I've got to ask, which of these stood out to you the most? Because here's the thing, this isn't just about what's on your plate. This is about how you feel after you eat, how you show up for the rest of your day, and how the small choices you make at lunch can add up to a longer, stronger, more joyful life. Let's take a moment now to talk about why meals like these matter so much more than we realize. You know, watching someone you care about start eating less, or settling for the same toast and tea every afternoon, can be heartbreaking. And it's not just about what's on the plate. It's about what's happening underneath. Because nutrition, especially in our later years, isn't just about weight or numbers on a scale. It's about how we feel. It affects our energy, our mood, our immune system, even our ability to get up and move through the day with confidence. When meals become boring, too complicated, or simply forgotten, it can slowly chip away at someone's strength, independence, and even their joy. But here's the good news. You don't need a culinary degree or a shelf full of supplements to turn things around. You just need a few simple, nourishing meals. Meals that feel comforting, taste delicious, and support the body without being overwhelming. You'd be surprised how powerful that small change can be. Because when a senior enjoys their lunch, they're not just eating, they're fueling their memory, stabilizing their mood, keeping their muscles strong, and protecting their heart and brain. So if you're here right now, listening, watching, learning, let me say this. Whether you make one of these lunches for yourself or prepare it for someone you love, whether you share these ideas with a neighbor, a parent, or even a caregiver, every small step you take makes a difference. It's a small plate, but it holds so much more than food. It holds energy, dignity, health. It's one more way to say, I care about you. And if you're feeling unsure, if you're thinking, is this enough? Let me remind you, you are not alone on this journey. We are walking it together. And with just a little guidance, a little love, and a few real, wholesome ingredients, we can create a life that's not just long, but vibrant, flavorful, and full of vitality. Now before you go, let's take a moment to recap what we covered today. We shared 5 easy, healthy, and absolutely delicious lunch ideas for seniors over 60. We started with the Mediterranean chickpea salad wrap, a fiber-packed, heart-healthy wrap you can make in minutes. Then we moved to the sweet potato and lentil soup, warm, creamy, and packed with vitamins to keep you energized. We talked about the rotisserie chicken and avocado plate, a fast, protein-rich meal to help you stay strong. Then came the cottage cheese and fruit power bowl, simple, refreshing, and full of antioxidants. And finally, the quinoa veggie stir-fry with scrambled eggs, a colorful, comforting dish that's as nourishing as it is tasty. Each one designed to support your health, your energy, and your joy in this chapter of life. But now it's your turn. Which one of these meals would you try first? Or maybe you already have a favorite healthy lunch that works for you. I'd love to hear your ideas. Share them in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. Let's support one another. And hey, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more than you know. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to Healthy Senior Advice. Every week, we share new tips, recipes, and insights to help you and your loved ones thrive, not just survive. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Stay strong, stay nourished, and above all, be kind to yourself. I'll see you in the next video.